What is up, everybody? It is Corey McEnroeSpeaks. What's good? Just checking in again as usual, and really just gonna get right into it. I find so much that every day I find more ways and new ways to talk about how this is actually not that bad of a thing. And it's led me to a greater understanding of the life around me. It's so wild. I've said to you guys before, but if this is your first time checking in, right now I work at a local gas station in my town, and it's a full service gas station. I pump people's gas. It's something that I can do with one hand, if you feel me. And I see people every day that I get to talk to and have a conversation with, and I wear a big mitten most of the time because it keeps my hand warm. And it usually draws people to ask about it. And if I don't wear a mitten, people still ask about it because it's not every day you see somebody missing two fingers on one hand. So it leads me to tell people that I'm getting into public speaking from all this. And I have, a few different messages that go along with it. One of the main, they're all the main ones, so I shouldn't say that. But it really started from a sports injury, and the first thing I knew I wanted to speak about was to young athletes and their parents about what it takes to be a professional athlete and how to enjoy sports and get the most out of them. And then I've realized now, since living with this, that it's living with trauma, living with a post-traumatic thing is really crazy, and it's helped me be able to connect with people who have gone through really tough losses and just be someone that they can talk to and realize that everything's still going to be okay. That's like the main borderline message is everything is still going to be okay when it comes to like the trauma side of this. So that's been really cool. And, it's also kind of rippled off into understanding how to take care of yourself as far as like a medical hospital doctor type thing, because part of my problem is I didn't really have a primary care physician. I didn't really understand that part of being a young adult and what you're supposed to do to take care of yourself health wise, and also went to two doctors and kind of got misdiagnosed and honestly felt neglected. But unfortunately, what we've learned is that I can't sue because my situation was so rare that the doctors aren't at fault. So it's led me to want to try to educate people on making sure you know what you're doing when it comes to going to the doctor and getting insurance and all that whole process for yourself. So with all that being said, it was a mouthful. I hope it wasn't too much. Today, I had this customer come in, and she has come in before. We've talked about this. I do see a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, so I kind of forget who I specifically have spoken to and like sometimes what their name is. I see a lot of people at a gas station every day. So but we had talked and we're talking, and she was telling me, she's like, I used to write for a fashion magazine, and I don't have that job anymore. And I was like, oh, what happened? Did they go tech and they didn't need you? Like what happened? And she said, no, I just got too old apparently, and I aged out, and I don't get to do it anymore. And now I am at my age, and there's a lot of people at her age that are like late 50s that are like trying to figure out how to, as she says, reinvent themselves, recreate a new life and a new way of still generating income, because not many people get to just retire and have a lot of money, and that whole reason I bring this up is because that is exactly ties in perfectly with what I talk about when it comes to sports and kids and young athletes and their parents. Like, the chances of you actually going pro are very slim. So you can't sit on that nest egg that you think is going to happen because your son or daughter is top of the line in sixth grade. You know, you just don't know what it's ever going to be. And the competition is so stiff. And on top of that, things like the NFL, which, you know, we're in the thick of the NFL season right now, the NFL does not offer a really good retirement plan. It's like openly known that like it's really hard for a lot of these post NFL players to figure out what to do with their lives, and also their shelf life in the NFL is much shorter now. They're just churning and burning through athletes. So basically, it is so beautiful and wild and bizarre to me that the things that I'm passionate about trying to give light to are they have a similarity, an analogy, whatever it is. They have another form in another person's life in a different way. You know, her message was make sure you, when you got something good, figure it out and figure out how to make it a future nest egg for you. And that's the same thing with sports. If you're good at sports when you're young, don't think that you're going to be a super professional athlete, because that is like such a small percentage. It's great to want to be that, and that's awesome, and work for that. But say, okay, I'm good at sports. I'm good at shooting this rock. So I'm going to go to college and get a college degree, and that's going to help me get a good job and help set me up for my future. And I use sports to help me get a good job. Or, you know, you like coaching and you like the sport, so you learn the sport, you play in college, you have credentials, maybe you play semi-pro, maybe you're a pitcher, and your arm just doesn't make it through the minors, but you can still teach pitching and make money that way. So I am going to come on and say the same things a lot because I really believe in my message and I really believe in getting it out. So forgive me if I sound redundant, but I want young athletes and their parents to really embrace sports while you have them and enjoy them and get the good things out of them, like the fact that they push you to want to work harder and be disciplined and stay on a good track to make something of yourself. And also, the next thing is if you've ever had anything, you know, bad happen, whether it's as little as failing a math test or as tough as someone passing away from cancer or worse, you know, trauma comes in all forms, and you can and will get through it, and life is still going to be okay. Being alive is such a beautiful thing. It's such a wonderful, cool, blissful privilege that we get to experience this wonderful life. So take care of yourself when you don't feel good, and figure out how to get hooked up with the right doctors, and make sure that you are paying attention to the signs that your body is giving you, that you might need to stop, slow down, and get some help. And just always remember that life is really cool, and there's no need to get too worked up about situations that are out of your control. That's the hugest thing one of the hugest things I've learned from this is that, like, this just became a point where now it got to be out of my control, and couldn't save the fingers. And there's no use in crying over spilt milk, as they say. You know, I don't need to be bummed out about this. I can take this and make it a positive, and let everybody know that life is all about your attitude, and sports end up being all about your attitude, and your job ends up being all about your attitude. The way you get anywhere in life is what your attitude is. So take it from me. Have a good attitude, and just do not be afraid of bad times, because everything will get better. All you got to do is just trust, have faith, stay optimistic. Right? Yep. Okay. Peace out, guys.